Welcome back everyone to the Working Class Revolt, and today I want to show you a clip of the former Shadow Treasurer John McDonnell, who was under the Jeremy Corbyn led official opposition for the Labour Party, talking about why he was going to vote with the Conservative motion to not cut the winter fuel payment. Please take a look.
And I just hope people learn the lesson as we move towards this budget, not to put us in this position again, where we take a decision which is based upon, I believe, misjudgment, and certainly flies against everything I believe in as a Labour MP about tackling inequality and poverty within our society. I was not elected to impoverish my constituents and put them in this hardship. So I regret voting for a motion put forward by these characters, but I will have to because there's no other mechanism. And I say to my people back in Hayes, I want to look at them in the face and say I did the right thing.
And first of all, I must say that I'm not a big fan of the majority of policies people like John McDonnell have. John McDonnell is far too to the left for me. But I think it's only fair to speak out when people do things right, and not just because you don't agree with that person's policies. And there John McDonnell's talking about how he didn't become a Labour MP to make his elderly and vulnerable more poorer. And a big shout out for John McDonnell, because this is actually the second time that he's done this. He's actually now sitting as an independent MP because Keir Starmer took the whip off him after he voted against the King's speech, because he believed, like most other parties and most Labour MPs, believe it or not, that the cap on 2 children through universal credit should be took away, where you would get money if you had 3 or 4 children, like it used to be before it was cut by the Conservative government under David Cameron. And it's also worth mentioning, John Trickett from West Yorkshire was the only Labour MP sitting, because obviously people like John McDonnell have now had the whip took off them, technically they're independent. John Trickett from West Yorkshire actually voted with the Conservative government, and I think that is absolutely fantastic and shows just what a great MP he is. Again, very far to the left. We may not agree with his policies, but he stood up for his residents. An MP is elected to represent the constituents before the political party. Now, we had 50 or 60 MPs for Labour who abstained, and some people trying to say that these people are heroes, they went against the government. But that's not the case. Abstaining, sitting on the fence, simply isn't good enough. They knew that the government would get the motion beat by the Conservatives anyway, but in order to try and show to the residents that they didn't vote for a winter fuel payment cut, they abstained. And it's going to be really interesting coming to the next general election to see what happens when these areas, which are very closely fought by Conservatives or the Reform Party in second place, what happens when this comes up on the doorstep, because some of these areas might only have a couple of 100,000, 2,000 majorities for Labour, and I think if that election was to happen tomorrow, they would lose 50 to 100 seats already. But please let me know what you think. Do you think that John McDonnell and John Trickett have done the right thing by going against the political party? And although you may not agree with the position on policies, do you think that they are basically local heroes to the community by putting the residents first? Please like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.